Here we are. I'm Ernie Pack.
He's got this set up to where I'm looking up here and my camera's over here.
Well, look over here because there's the comments right there. So look that way.
Then I can't see what's going on over there.
It's just us.
I don't like this setup.
We'll figure out a different setup. But anyway, we're back. How y'all doing?
Hello, Courtney, and hello, Eric. We've been seeing you in there.
Good to see y'all. It's been a minute since we've done a regular podcast. We're going to see if we can't get back in the groove of it. Who knows? We might be doing this every week for a while. But we've had a lot going on over the last, what?
Forever.
Yeah, forever. Things have kind of slowed down a little bit in a lot of ways. We finally got the house situated. For those of you who know us, we just bought last year in May. We moved into the REAL Ditto House Inn. It was built in 1841, served as a Civil War hospital, served as a brothel, served as a inn. It's been a little bit of everything, hasn't it?
Claire Johnson's in there, another big supporter.
Hello, Claire. Good to see you in there.
I can see some of you when you pop up. Unless you comment, I can't really see everybody.
Yeah. It's the house is if you Google the Ditto House Inn, the results will tell you it's listed as the most haunted house in Kentucky. Some of the results will say that anyway.
Did you just have a stroke?
I kind of stumbled over my words a little bit. I didn't have a stroke. I just kind of stumbled.
You had a stroke.
It was a stumble.
It was a stroke.
There's a difference in a stumble and a stroke. That was a stumble.
You had a stumbling stroke. The Ditto House Inn, when you look it up, the red brick one that's 2 doors down will show up a lot of the times under the picture, and that's the Ditto Lansdale house.
Yes.
So they get them interchanged, but
both are haunted.
Both are haunted. So we're not really sure which one is the most haunted, whether it's this one or that one, but they're both pretty freaking haunted.
This is the most haunted place I've ever been. I'll just say that.
You all can thank Ernie for me looking sideways on the thing up here.
Look over there.
Because I can't see what's going on up there.
There's nothing going on over there. It's just us. That's boring.
I'm neurodivergent. I don't function like you do.
Look at the camera.
Hey, it's Jenny.
Hello, Jenny. Good to see you. But anyway, since we moved to West Point, Kentucky, a very haunted little historic town that is just 20 minutes down the road from, say, Waverly Hills, that area of Louisville, Kentucky. We're 20 minutes up the road from Fort Knox, Kentucky, where the Gold Vault is. This town has a lot of paranormal activity that's been reported, a lot of haunted locations. There's a Civil War fort that's right up on the hill over there, Fort Duffield. And when we first moved to town, we wanted to go investigate up there. We talked to the people down at the museum about how to get in there, and come to find out, it was a long story, but in order to do a private overnight, you really couldn't do a private overnight. So we talked to the mayor and the people at the Friends of Fort Duffield, and we've changed that. We got a contract with them now, and the fort is open for private investigations.
Hi,
hello, Irene. Good to see you in there.
Good morning, right?
Yeah, I think it's morning there.
Morning.
What is it in Tokyo? Is it morning? Anyway, I'm still hurting, Jenny, but I'm better. I'm going to try to work tomorrow.
He's barely made it through this because I have thought about putting a pillow over his head on many occasions over the past week. Many occasions.
You think that's over the past years, several years you've thought about
more so the last week.
You're evil. Fort Duffield, Civil War fort. You're right up on the hill. You're so sweet to me. We did not even know if it was haunted. We wanted to go up there and investigate. But we soon found out that it is in...
I'm going to squirrel out on you here in just a minute. You're telling me not to worry about what's going on over there. See, this has really got me messed up. It's really bothering me. Okay. You're telling me not to worry about what's going on over there, to worry about what's going on over here. What are you going to do when you got a guest? Do you not look at your guest? Do you just talk in right there?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of rude to not like...
They look. It looks like I'm looking at them.
But then you can't really see. Like, what if your guest has a booger or something? Isn't it like kind to tell them?
No, you just don't say that. Just it's more kind to not say anything. Don't.
I always tell you when you have one.
Yeah, I know you do on
I
podcasts. I mean,
I
live.
pick it
You
for
don't
him
care.
occasionally.
She does not care. Those of you who know us know that this happens.
Love you too, Jenny. It's
What
good to
were we
put a
talking
little
about?
fear in him, Irene. Oh no, you just bored me, bro, whatever you
Brew?
are,
Brew?
bruh.
I was talking about Fort Duffield.
Yes. You are. Hey, Tim's in here. Hi, Joshua.
Howdy. I see. We got a lot of folks in here now.
We
don't
do.
We? Yeah,
We
good.
do.
Good to see y'all.
I don't know what they come in here for this shit show for.
Anyway, folks, Fort Duffield, like I say, we did not know if it was haunted. What's up, T-Dog? Good to see you, brother. We did not know if it was haunted. We started taking folks up there and taking a look around. We had some things happen that, were personal experiences that we couldn't really show to anybody. And then T-Dog and Carrie and Luke came up to the fort to take a look around. One afternoon, it was still daylight. And we were showing them around up there.
Joshua, we're not affiliated with Waverly Hills anymore. I can't talk tonight for some reason.
The
Mattingleys are back in charge, and any questions you have about Waverly, it would be good to just check their website or call up there.
Yeah, I don't want to give you bad information.
Yeah.
Oh
God, the Todd's in here. Oh God, the Todd. I just made that up.
That was good. You're so good.
I'm witty.
You are. T-Dog brought some members of his team, Riverbend Paranormal Indiana, up to Fort Duffield to take a look around. And Carrie snapped some photos while we were doing so. And got one of the... Too. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
That's Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. Good to see you. And anyway, the photo that T-Dog sent us the next day kind of blew our minds. I had to pull off. I don't know what he's talking about. If you're following the chat over here, the Todd, just bless his heart. That's all we can say. The photo that T-Dog sent us that day just kind of blew our minds. It's a full-bodied apparition of a soldier walking down the hill of the fort. And I was talking last night to the folks.
Don't expect us to show you. We're not that good.
Yeah, go to Hauntings of Fort Duffield and find it. It's there. I would get lost and you'd never see us back on screen again if I tried to go and show a photo actually on here. I haven't got myself trained in that regard.
We don't know what we're doing. We're winging this whole thing.
We always wing it. And somehow people like it. I don't know. But anyway, it's a full-bodied apparition of a soldier walking on the hill of the fort. He's walking down the hill at about the center of the fort wall as it faces to the southeast. And last night I was at a meeting or at a dinner for the Friends of Fort Duffield. They had their annual dinner honoring the volunteers and everyone helping up there. And I talked to the guy who started Friends of Fort Duffield, who's most responsible for saving the fort. And I showed him that photo. And he kind of started grinning at me. And he said, you know what? There was one person who died by a gunshot on that hill. And it was right there in that spot. A soldier was walking down the hill right there. And he slipped. He fell. His rifle went off and shot the man behind him in the head and killed him. And so that photo, we got a little bit more context to it now after talking to them last night.
This man also lives across the street from us in the first Sears Roebuck house.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how really haunted his house is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody here's got a ghost story.
Everybody in this town does. But the fort, we started doing private overnights up there and other. Oh no, there's Rob. Rob, I got my abacus working. We got everything figured out. It's all good. The sundial showed 8 o'clock. We went live right when the sundial said it was 8 o'clock.
He was making little chips on his slab of marble earlier, trying to figure out.
I was making notes for the show. But anyway, we've had, I guess, about 6 teams up there now for private overnights. And every team that's come up there has had some type of activity.
Bigfoot.
Every team but one has definitely said
I'd rather be squatching.
they had Bigfoot activity at the fort. That's something we were not expecting at all.
I can't see exactly what Josh used.
He says awesome. Yeah. He said awesome about the.
We got a lot of history.
There's a lot of history
here,
in this town.
Joshua, you should come visit West Point sometime. Yep. Stop by and see us at the Haunted Ditto House Inn in West Point.
Did you have a stroke?
Looking at you gives me a stroke because you're just so handsome, my love.
I know. I have that effect. Yeah. But anyway, everybody's had paranormal activity. We had a group up there that had the trifecta in one night. They had a UFO sighting.
Adam's in here.
Adam,
he's one of our people that's seen the Squatch. You saw the Squatch, right, Adam? You were there that night?
He's one of us. There were 6 of us that watched it walk all the way across the fort. You can follow the chat over there. Adam can back up my story here. This really happened.
Hey, John Riley, my friend's in here. Hey, John.
Hello, John.
Good to see you pop up here. Me and John have a trauma bonding friendship. Yeah. We're besties.
I know. And now he's going back to Jersey.
Because he was traumatized enough to get the hell out.
Yeah, Keith Paranormal, when they came to visit Fort Duffield, they had spirit activity. We were sitting down by where the fire pit is, where we do our spirit squatches and stories around the campfire events. And we saw a UFO. Mm-hmm. And a little bit later, we were walking up at the fort, and all of us saw a biggie, one of the forest people, come over the wall of the fort and walk all the way across the fort grounds and down into the woods.
What would you say, like 10, 12 seconds longer? It wasn't
it was long enough for us to go, can you believe that? You know, we were sitting there pointing and looking, and everybody's like, why didn't you get video? Why didn't you film it? Why didn't you take a picture? Because when you see something like that, folks, it's easy to say that. Even as an investigator, it's easy to say that. But when you actually see that in front of you, you're just like, that's not your first thought. You just want to take it in and experience it. And
well, we do a lot of work with Greg Yost, Squatchman. If anybody doesn't know who that is, he goes by Squatchman, Journey to the Truth. He says they don't like our cameras, and we've found that when we go out there and we don't take a bunch of crap and we just talk to them, we have more experiences. And every once in a while, if we ask them if we can take a photo, they'll let us. But
yeah,
we don't try to capture them.
Leanne and Todd have caught a couple of good photos that we believe have.
And Todd said up there in the chat about stuff being thrown at you, not at anybody, Todd.
Just at Todd. Just at Todd. Not at us. At you, Todd. Todd gets stuff thrown at him every time we're in the presence of the Bigfoot.
Yeah, we could bring Todd on one of these shows and let Todd talk about his experiences.
Yeah, they love him.
Todd and Leanne are our brother and sister. They're with us all the time, everywhere. And Beth Allen when she
Candy,
can make
good to see you in there.
Beth doesn't get to hang out with us as much as she used to, but she's our sister as well. But
she's got a lot of obligations down there at Octagon Hall with Night Stalkers.
Yeah, Octagon Hall.
But she will be with us April 20th. It's something I was going to get to.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
But anyway, I was just saying, she's what is her Blaze?
Soul on
Blaze.
Soul on Blaze.
And then Todd and Leanne are the Black Wolf Paranormal. But we all function. We do a lot of stuff together as a family. So yeah. We have a lot of experiences when we're together. And Todd and Leanne can tell you a lot of stuff that's happened in this house.
Here in the house. Yeah, they've spent a lot of time with us here at the house and had some crazy stuff happen. Mm-hmm. But
Todd almost pooped himself just a little bit last time he was here.
Yeah, the little lady at the refrigerator.
The lady in the kitchen.
Like I said, we started doing public events also up at the fort, and we call those spirits, squatches, and stories around the campfire. And it's usually Denise, myself, Todd, and Leanne have been able to join us most of the time for those. Squatchman Greg Yost, like who she mentioned earlier, is usually there. And that's what it is. I mean, we have a cookout, and then we go up, we build a fire, we sit around the fire, and we tell stories. Hello, Colette from Liverpool. Good to see you in here. We got a worldwide
crowd. We have
tonight.
A lot of people watching.
But
I appreciate all of you. Get a kitchen witch.
yeah, exactly. But anyway.
Yeah, Tim might come down and see us on April 20th too. He might drive on down here and hang out with us.
Well, we'll be here. He knows where to find us. He's been here.
He's been here a few times.
He's been here. I hope he does make it.
Me too. Love to see you, Tim.
Yep. Anyway, April 20th, we're going to do one of those spirit squatches and stories around the campfire. We're going to have a cookout. We're going to meet and greet while we're having the cookout. Everybody's just going to sit around and talk. Then we'll go up. We'll tell some stories around the campfire. Folks, be welcome to go investigate the fort. I'll give them a tour of the fort, whatever.
You can either squatch or ghost hunt or do both, because Squatch Man will be there for the squatching part. We'll be there for the ghost hunting part, and we all kind of interchange because we do everything. So.
Yeah, there's 175 acres of remote woods up there that borders the Fort Knox military reservation that has a lot of Bigfoot activity, and you're welcome to wander off in the woods and see if you can't round up a squatch, or hang out at the fort, see if you can't have some spirit activity.
Or you can just sit.
Or you can sit and hear us talk.
Yeah, I mean, last time we were up there, well, the last couple of times we've actually done our thing and been like, okay, you all, if you want to go out and do something, go do it, or we'll go with you. And everybody's like, no, we just want to sit here and listen to more stories. And we're like, we're not that entertaining, but whatever. It's like
but folks seem to enjoy it. So, and that's the one thing, any of our events that we do, and I've always said that when I was a host at Waverly Hills or whatever, I can't guarantee paranormal activity. I can't promise you anything like that. But what I can promise you is we're going to do our best to make sure you have a good time. And if that means that we got to have Tide, put on his assless chaps and do a dance or whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, that's possible.
Just whatever it takes.
Oh, the pictures we could show y'all.
The stories we could tell. But anyway, no, it's a good time. Folks seem to enjoy it. And we're looking forward to the weather getting warmer where we can get those rolling again.
Beth's in here.
Beth's in here. Good to see you, Beth.
Beth, our sister Beth, we gave you a shout out.
That's right. I'm going to take a drink because I've been talking.
He's windy. He always talks. You're windy.
Yeah.
You're a Wendigo.
No,
there's a whole story about that too, folks.
Todd knows that one too. How come all these stories kind of go back to the Todd? We got to get the Todd on the show next week. That's a special guest next week. I'm announcing it now. The Todd. I haven't even asked him. I'm just telling him he's going to be here next week. Anyway, these events, they're $50 a person. It includes your food and
cookout.
Goes from 7 o'clock till 3 in the morning. Is that what we got on there?
I think so. Something like that. 7 to 3.
It's a good long stretch of time.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And they're a lot of fun. So if you guys can join us for one of those, I'd love to have you up there. The one April 20th, we've got 50 spots that we've made available. We've sold, I don't know, around 10 right now. We just put them up last week, I think. But anyway, look for those.
They're on Eventbrite. There's an Eventbrite link, and you know what? I don't have.
You're gonna put that in the chat?
Well, I got to find it to put it in the chat.
We could beg Courtney to put it in the chat. She's really good at that.
I don't know if Courtney has it or not. Courtney, do you have the Eventbrite link?
I don't know. Anyway,
I'll see if I can find it.
We'll get the Eventbrite link in the chat over here if you're interested.
I'm working on that. That's why I'm looking down at my phone. I'll let Ernie entertain you by himself for a while.
But the fort also is open for private overnight investigations as well. Those are $400 for up to 10 people. It's 12 hours. And you have that entire 175 acres of property for those 12 hours. The park is open to the public during daylight hours. So the overnights run from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. And you know how daylight times change. So, you might have an hour or two of daylight where you have other folks at the park. But once it gets dark, we run everybody else off and it's all yours during the night.
Joshua, we do offer, and you look at his comment, the overnights, and then if he wanted to.
Yeah, you could pitch a tent, like I say, but at sunup, you could have someone walking up to your tent that you don't know who they are, because once daylight breaks, it's open to the public. It's a park.
Right.
Well, Colette, if you're coming to the States
Come see us.
next year, you need to come to West Point, Kentucky, and see us at Fort Duffield. Hello, Damien. Good to see you in here.
Oh, Damien. Hi, Damien.
Yep, we got a lot of folks.
A lot of
here.
people.
Yeah,
I'm so bad.
The
at
fort.
I don't know how to find this stuff.
Well, you can find it. It's easy to find.
It's spirits, squatches, and stories around the campfire on Eventbrite.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my phone sticky.
The overnights, like I said, they're four. I don't know why your phone's sticky. I'm trying to think and give up this information very, very professionally.
Squirrel.
And you squirrel out, why is my phone sticky?
Hey, Carrie, she's the photographer.
She's the great photo.
Yeah, she's the one that got our picture.
She gets the credits for the great apparition that we caught up there. Anyway, $400 for up to 10 people. And if you have more than 10, it's $40 a person.
We are just all over the place with this,
We're not all over the place. We got this. This is flowing. This is flowing like a river.
Josh and Shane did ask to come to our house. Vince, not so much. We have beef. No, I say that we've squashed that.
That's been squashed.
It's
been squashed. Hello, Paul. Good to see you in here. What is Todd saying there?
Well, I don't know. You've got the thing in front of it. See?
Well, we got to have a camera at somewhere on this table. Has to be a camera.
Support the house. The area is awesome. Ernie Pack and Denise Pack are a bonus. Maybe Denise Pack. I don't know about Ernie.
Damien. He's right. Well, Damien, just get in touch with me and we'll get you hooked up with a date at the fort. Something else that we decided just recently was to open up a few nights here at the house. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of folks. Most of the people that we call friends and that we hang out with, that we talk to, are in the paranormal community. And when they found out that we lived at the Ditto House Inn, the most haunted house in Kentucky, everybody was like, when can we come investigate? And we were like, never, it's our house. And that didn't really feel right. We decided that we'd go ahead and open up a few dates.
Well, we've let several people come and visit, and just closer friends and everything, and everybody. We've actually asked because if you look at the price of the overnights we opened up, we've asked opinions of people that have actually been here and experienced it, and everybody agreed that was a good price, especially for 18 hours. We feed
16.
I think it's 18 in it. I don't know.
It's a lot of hours. It's 2 meals.
Denise ain't cooking shit.
What?
I'm talking to Todd.
Yeah.
It involves you get to be here, which we're here. It's our house. Our belongings are here. Yeah. 5 p.m. to 11 a.m. It's got to be a Friday night. We're only opening up to 5 teams. Best is Oreo balls. We're doing. Hey, Eric.
Good to see you, Eric.
We're doing dinner. We provide all the snacks, breakfast the next morning. We take you on a tour of the house. You get to do an investigation. You can sleep. I mean, after you're here, the house is basically yours. We're just here to keep our belongings from disappearing. Not that anybody so far that's come, we know everybody pretty much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you never know.
Yeah, we trust people. But, I mean, we just, it is our house. We're not, this is not just some place that we bought that we're opening to investigations. This
Courtney
is where we
is
live.
the palm. She is the bomb.
The palm?
I said the bomb.
You said palm first.
I said bomb.
Folks, rewind this. She said palm first.
I said the bomb.
Anyway, thank you, Courtney. There's the Eventbrite link for the stories.
Todd, I got a special something for you.
Around the campfire. It's $500 for up to 10 people.
I saw something about.
We've got 3 or 4 spots still open. something like that.
The Ditto House. We have what? I'm not
3 or
listening
4
to
spots open for that.
What for? What?
For the night at the house.
We haven't opened those up yet. Remember, they don't open up till March 1st.
Okay, then. Well, then that's all right.
We got 5 spots.
Well, there you go. We've got 5 spots. $500 a team, up to 10 people.
Ernie doesn't know what's going on ever, y'all. He really doesn't.
She doesn't tell me
no
everything
clue.
I need to know is what it is.
It doesn't matter if I do. He don't listen. He doesn't listen. He doesn't hear anything. Let's talk. Speaking of not listening, let's talk about the door and you trying to get out of the bedroom the other night. You want to talk about this story?
We don't need to talk about that.
Oh,
That's not what we're talking about.
We need to talk about
We're talking
the
about
story.
Fort Duffield.
No, we're going to talk about this story.
We're talking about Fort Duffield.
He has proven to me that he just nods his head and smiles and agrees with me just to appease me, so I'll shut up. You know how I know this? My nose is itching. It's not a boogie, it's just itching. I'm tired of wiping it. Anyway.
What's wrong with you?
I got makeup on your shirt.
You got booger on my shirt.
There's not a booger there. It's just
It
makeup.
looks like a booger.
It's just makeup.
Whatever.
We have a lock on our door that has like this little, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like almost like a deadbolt looking thing, but it's just the door
an
knob.
Old door from 1841.
It's old. It's like a door knob. I was looking to see if we have one in here.
We don't have one that old anywhere else.
And it's the big square. It looks like a deadbolt base, but it's for the knob. And on the very top of that thing there is this little flippy switch. And I discovered about 2 months ago that if that thing accidentally gets flipped over, the door, you can't get out. It like paralyzes the doorknob. The doorknob won't move. And you can be turning and doing everything you can, and you cannot get it open.
Like a lock.
It's not even a lock because it won't, it don't, like you're turning the knob and it won't open at all.
All I know is I was about to pee on myself and I could not get out of the bedroom.
Okay. When I discovered this 2 months ago, I said, because I was frustrated, I was like, I can't get this door open. And I finally figured it out. So I turned around to my loving husband, who was obviously paying attention to me. And
I was probably asleep.
No, you were sitting there on your phone doing something.
I was probably doing something very important.
Sure. I'm like, okay, let me explain what I just discovered. There's this thing on top of the doorknob, and I go through the whole spiel. And he's like, oh, really? Well, that's odd. I've never seen one of those before. Okay, I'll remember that. I get woke up 2 nights ago with him cussing and thumping around in the dark. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like the middle of the night. I'm hurting and I'm about to piss my pants. I can't get out of this effing door. And I'm like, what? The effing door won't open. I'm like, did you flip the thing on top? Yes, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I get up, I walk over, and I flip the button and let him out. And he looks at me like this is a whole epiphany for him. He's never known anything about this.
That was a look of relief. It wasn't a look of epiphany. It was a look of, I am not going to pee on myself now. I'm getting out of here and going to the bathroom.
Anyway,
you had the wrong take on that look.
He had no recollection of us ever having that conversation.
I really didn't.
Because you didn't listen to me.
No, it's because
you agreed with me. You nodded. We had a whole conversation, and you were just trying to appease me and get me to shut up.
Folks, this is not the truth. That's not how it went.
Everybody over here, who's telling the truth?
Hello, Denise. This is not, and hello, Joanne.
Yeah, Joanne. Hello.
We got a lot of
our regulars.
Regulars from back in the day.
We miss all y'all. We're glad to see you here. We're glad you are keeping up with us.
But we this house, let's talk about this house. Every day there is something paranormal that we could write down. I was talking to Denise today about we need to get a notebook and start writing this stuff down. And
a notebook for each room.
Yeah. We're going to need big notebooks because this house has a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, it's the most haunted place I've ever been. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying that because
I can't see what she said. How is the
wait?
We've got our whatchamacallit, what's this thing?
Can you see it there?
In a bad place. How is the weight with the biscuits at your head?
I'm slim and trim, Joanne. I love me some biscuits, but I'm slim and trim. I had me some biscuits and gravy today. In fact, the pets are fat. right?
Always.
They always are.
Always. If you didn't know, your house is haunted. Just saying.
Yeah, it
you
really
think
is.
so, Todd?
Um,
We have children that like to. One of the stories. There's actually a book called Haunted West Point, and we're
the haunted and the what is it? Spirited and Haunted History of
Something
West
like
Point,
that.
Kentucky, something
like that. But there's a whole chapter dedicated to our house in there, and one of the stories is about children that like to bring rocks in. And actually, I'll run down and get it in a minute and show you all what rocks are being brought into the house, because they're not little rocks. So I'll go get that so you guys can see. But because there were so many rocks showing up, I decided to leave crystals out because they were pretty. Hey, there's Scotty.
What's up, Scotty? Good to see you, brother.
I decided to start leaving crystals out because they were prettier and I thought the kids might like them. And we put one on each step coming up the first set of stairs. Well, the children will take the crystals. Like right now, there's one step with 2 crystals and none on the one below it. So they've moved that up. So the crystals move all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua asked what inspired us to purchase the property and what called you to the location.
Well, that's a long story.
I'm going to let you tell that story while I run and get these
It's actually
rocks.
a short story, but then now that we've gotten in here, we've realized that there might have been more at play.
I'll be right back.
We had been looking for a house for quite some time. We thought we'd found one in Bardstown, Kentucky, which is another very haunted small town in Kentucky. The house was right down the road from the Talbot Tavern. You might have heard of that. It's a haunted location. And thought we were going to get that house. Well, that deal fell through, and we were kind of disappointed. And so I was laying there in bed one night. I was asleep. Denise was up. She's always up most of the night. And she was scrolling through houses.
By the way, if anybody sees me walking back and forth, I don't have to. It's bad enough I have to put a bra on. I don't put on real pants unless I have to. So I have on skeleton pants. I'm just saying. All right.
So anyway, in the middle of the night, I get awakened by this demonic voice of Denise saying, "We need this house." And that's exactly how she said it.
I'm not demonic. I'm an angel.
It sounded demonic to me.
An angel.
It was demonic. I'm telling you, I'm calling demon. We need this house. And so I look, and she shows me, and it's a picture of the Ditto House. And listen to Todd. See what Todd's saying? He's being mean. So now I'm going to stretch it out. We're going to be on for 3 hours, folks.
She said.
Golly.
I'm going to show you all these rocks while he's talking, because we won't get to the rocks if we wait until he's done. These are the things that our ghost children.
I'll never get to the story.
These are the things our ghost
Hello, Jeremy.
children have brought in. So you all know it's not just being stuck in someone's shoe. These are the rocks these children have carried into us from outside.
Yeah.
So anyway, continue your story.
Yeah. So, I look at the house, and, it says, for all you history buffs, this was a Civil War hospital and blah, blah, blah. And it's in West Point, Kentucky. Well, Denise and I had our eye on this town for quite some time. Actually, we've been looking at the Ditto Lansdale house, hoping it would go up for sale. And anyway, we decided we were going to call the realtor. This was a Saturday night. I called the realtor Sunday morning, thinking I'm just going to leave a message for him and he'll get back with me on Monday. Well, he calls me right back immediately.
Brian Murray's in here.
Brian Murray in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. And so the realtor calls me back first thing, like 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Brian, you need to get up here.
Yeah, you got to get to the house. And we're doing well, brother.
Thank you, Danielle.
So we come down. We're here at noon on a Sunday to look at the house. We walked 10 feet in the door, looked at the realtor, said, "We'll take it." And he said, "It's 3,700 square feet. Don't you want to look around?" We were like, "Yeah, but we'll take it." And so here we are. Since we've gotten here, I have learned that my mother once lived the next street over on Mulberry Street. My grandfather graduated from school in this town. I didn't know they ever lived in this town.
The fort.
The fort.
Took over the fort.
When I started researching the fort, when we took over the investigations at the fort, I started doing some research on the construction of the fort and how it came to be. And come to find out, one of my ancestors was one of the people in charge of construction, a man by the name of Charles Bennett. So it's kind of, like the universe had plans for us to be here.
And then
you want to talk about the pictures?
There are some photos hanging on our wall in the dining room that I bought probably 25 years ago. And shortly after I married my last husband, we had taken our honeymoon. Just for whatever reason, I picked Newport, Rhode Island. And I seem to have a connection, which is a whole other show in and of itself, with that whole area. But I fell in love with the area, the nautical theme and all of that. So I had purchased these nautical pictures 25 years ago, and they've been hanging on my wall. And it's basically 3 sea captains. Never looked at the names or anything. And they've been through 3 houses now with me. Well, one of the first places I toured up in Newport, Rhode Island, and fell in love with was called Belcourt Castle at the time. And it was built by Oliver Hazard Perry Belmont. And his father at one point had lived there.
I thought he died there.
He might have died there. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, we're hanging up those pictures in the dining room. And I just happened to look at Ernie and say, hey, I never really paid any attention, but there's names on those pictures. What do they say? And I'll Google them. So I'll let you talk about what happened next with these 3 pictures.
The first picture I picked up, the name was O.H. Perry. And hello, Grady. Good to see you. Oliver Hazard Perry. The next name was
cool.
a man. Yeah.
That was cool in itself. It was like, oh, what's the chances?
Yeah,
right.
That's cool. So we look at the next name and do some research on him and see if he has any ties to Oliver Hazard Perry. Well, it's a man. His last name is Lawrence, I believe. Mm-hmm. And he actually had trained Oliver Hazard Perry as a sea captain.
And the
other guy that was in the other picture, man, by the name of Porter.
And Porter happened to be Oliver Hazard Perry's best friend.
Well, the picture of Mr. Porter shows him on an old Ironsides, a Union Civil War ship. We look up his history, and guess what? That boat was tied up right out back behind this house at one point.
Because the river's right in our backyard.
The river's in our backyard. And when this town was taken over by the Union, this became a major supply point. He came down from Pittsburgh to here with that ship.
So I had those pictures for 25 years. And what's the odds that they would be hanging in our dining room here?
Right.
When we discovered who they were. It's just like we were meant to be here.
Yeah, there's so many things that are just weird synchronicities that we love about the situation. Really, I mean, it's crazy.
Right now, we're in the gentleman's room. I'm sure y'all see that wallpaper coming off the wall back there. We've started decorating the rooms, but we haven't started any major renovations. So that piece was already hanging, and we went ahead and pulled it down. But because it's an old house. What is that, like lime on the wall? It's calcium
coming through. Yeah.
So that's like the calcium's making that wallpaper come off. So we haven't tried
pushing out the wallpaper.
Yeah, we haven't tried to clean that up or do anything with that yet.
But something about I don't know, destiny, fate, whatever, that just amazes me about how all of the different things have tied in since we've gotten here, between the fort, this house itself, my family's history,
my tie with the nautical sea captains in Newport, Rhode Island. And because I actually have, I love Newport, Rhode Island so much. I actually have a curio cabinet in our dining room full of stuff from Newport.
And that thing opens all the time.
It opens by itself all the time.
The Todd saw that a couple of times right in front of them. Todd and Leanne were here one night, and it opened on command for them a couple of times. But no, we're really happy with the house. I mean, we got a lot that needs to be done to it. It needs a paint job. If you come by and look at it right now, it's 50 shades of gray on the outside. literally. But
our bathrooms need renovated. So our
Yeah.
bathroom's functionable, but it's an old bathroom. I mean, obviously not from the 1800s. We didn't have a bathroom, but we've got like a bathroom from early 1900s, I'd say. What do you say, 80s?
no, that's
40s.
not early 1900s.
Well, I'm thinking, I'm asking you,
Yeah,
early
I think
1900s,
the-
80s,
I think the
when
li-
is that?
I think the late 80s or something like that's when that was renovated,
Okay.
actually. But it wasn't done well because you can
It
tell
was probably done semi-well at the time, but it's just,
it needs work.
It needs a lot of work. Yep, there's Missy. The cabinet door opened last night when she was eating dinner. Missy, did you actually watch it open?
Yeah, were you in there when it opened, or did it open while you were out of the room? But because I mean, we've seen it happen both ways.
Yeah, Missy's staying with us right now for 15 weeks, and she's had quite a few experiences too.
Yeah.
She's a travel nurse like I am. Her contract happens to be in Louisville, so she's getting the full gamut of the Ditto House Inn.
Yeah, she's getting
Oh,
the Packman
there's Missy.
experience.
So I went down there
Uh-huh.
and it was closed.
Uh-huh.
I came out of the kitchen and it was open.
So it opened while she was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, this stuff happens a lot here.
Oh yeah, she's had somebody breathing on her neck down there. She saw a lady in her mirror last night, right?
Yes.
So yeah, and the lady she described that she saw in her mirror,
Yeah, I've seen
Seen
her
her.
too. Yeah,
the green dress.
yeah, dark green dress, very fancy dress.
Yeah, that's
Looks
what
like a
Missy
very
said.
rich,
Mhm.
well-to-do woman.
Yep. So
But
She used to leave me her money.
really.
she needs to leave all of us some money.
yeah, tell us where she stashed all the gold when the union
She
took over
see
town.
anything outside yet? We haven't really been outside, Jeremy. It's been too cold.
Yeah, we haven't had great weather this week, but we're going to get out. It's supposed to be nice this coming week.
Jeremy stayed with us, and he was outside with Ernie. They were or what is it, Courtney? Reenie. He was outside with Reenie.
Or as Leanne says, Eenie.
Eenie, Reenie, Mighty Mo. But
Yeah, me and Jeremy were chasing shadow figures around the yard when he stayed here.
we do have not directly in our backyard, but like a couple houses down, a Potter's Field. We thought it was in our backyard, and then we talked more to the town folks and realized it's not directly in our backyard.
Yeah, it's a little further down.
But there was a whole other, like the river is right in our backyard now. Like we have an acre or so back there.
Maybe not quite an acre, 3/4 of an acre, maybe.
But we got some yard, and then the Ohio River. But there was a whole other row of houses, mansions back there before one of the floods that took that out. So we have marble that has washed up on the shore downstairs in that curio cabinet too from those mansions.
Yeah. Thanks, Courtney. But anyway, I mean, to make a long story short, like Todd said
3
earlier,
hours later,
our house is haunted. But I mean, it's like I said, we did open up some dates for folks to book and come and
there's
investigate if they
not
like.
dates. So to say, like I said, folks, he don't never know what's going on.
Would tell people because I'm stupid,
March
obviously.
1st, we have 5 dates that we are letting people book starting. The opening is March 1st. The first 5 teams that message Ernie with the money available, because we don't want to get into having to hold dates or anything, will be the ones that get the dates. We've already got 2 people that are speaking for dates. So, I mean, we have to have the money to save them, but we got 2 people already. So that doesn't leave a whole lot more if you're interested. It's $500. You can bring up to 10 people. That is, and it's going to be on Friday night, and we will negotiate the Friday with you because we do have some other things, going on. But we're going to open those dates up starting June 1st, but you can buy them March 1st.
Right.
You can buy them March 1st, but it'll be June 1st and beyond for your
Is when you can
reservation.
actually schedule.
And that's just because we got a lot of stuff going on here. But they'll be from 5 p.m. to 11 a.m. We're preferring a Friday night. We might be able to negotiate that a little bit. That'll include your dinner, your snacks, dessert, breakfast, place to sleep, investigate, tour, whatever you want to do while
Hang
you're
out
here.
with us. Me.
No
mostly.
refunds. No refunds. but $500, and you can bring up to 10 people.
Hello, Stephen.
We do have, I did put on there though about the sleeping arrangements. We will be offering 2 full-size beds, a king bed, and a twin bed. So you can co-sleep or bring air mattresses. We have a couple of air mattresses here, but
Did you see what Jeremy?
yeah, Jeremy got to go to the Walmart with us. That was fun. But anyway.
Yeah.
All the information's on our Packman Paranormal page and
It's on the Real Ditto
the Real
House
Ditto
Inn.
House
I think
Inn.
it's on Hauntings of Fort Duffield as well.
It might be. I don't remember if I shared it there or not, but yeah.
So we got about 15 minutes here. Kind of go back and
Hopefully
talk
one
about
day, Claire.
yeah. Talk about the fort a little bit more.
And
Last night,
if anybody's ever in town, stop by and say, hey, if we're here,
Yeah,
you
if
can
you're
stop
gonna be
by and see the
passing
house.
through,
We don't
just
care.
send us a message. Let
Yeah,
us know
send
you're
us a
coming
message
by.
so
and
he's not naked in the front window. That's a whole different story. The neighbor across
That's
the
a-
street will
it's-
never be the same.
She'll
Never be the same. Never be
She
the
won't. She won't. But Fort Duffield. Last night we had that dinner. Like I said, if you've never been to Fort Duffield, or if you have been to Fort Duffield, it is an outdoor location. There are about 3.
There's Leanne.
There's Leanne, my sister. There are 3
Eric,
small
we're looking
cabins
forward
up
to it
there.
too.
We're looking forward to you coming. And then a large
Hello, Stephen.
earthen fort. And then on another hillside, probably a mile away,
Mm-hmm.
is a memorial cemetery with 36 stones there. And then there's a mass grave just down the hill from that memorial cemetery.
The 36 stones do not have bodies. They're like grave markers, but they aren't. That's the soldiers that were claimed. Those are their memorial stones, but there are still bodies in the mass grave that weren't claimed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Danielle had
she was our first group up there, wasn't she? Weren't they
Yeah,
the first
they were
ones?
the first private overnight we had up there, and they had a great experience. They had
They got
Bigfoot
swatches
encounter.
too.
they had spirit activity. They had Native American spirits,
Yes.
and then she
Jeremy.
went back during the daytime and
Mhm.
had
Yeah, she also didn't you come to one of our campfire events too, Danielle?
Yeah, she came.
Yeah. So Danielle keeps coming back. She must be having a good time, folks.
just saying. But the mayor was talking about a 5-year plan last night for the fort, and what we want to do. There's no electricity up there right now. We want to get some electricity up there. As it is, we've got electricity at the bottom of the hill, but up at the fort, there's not any. We want to get electricity up at the fort.
We do have a porta potty, basically. I mean, it's a little fancier than a porta potty, but it's the equivalent of a porta potty.
Basically, yeah, it's an outhouse. Basically,
No running water.
there's no running water. The 5-year plan is to get some water up there. So we're that is going to happen. There's also going to be trails connecting Fort Duffield with Tioga Falls, which is another site it's a park, beautiful waterfall
And
that borders Fort.
folks, if you're in the area, Fort Duffield, like he said, is open to the public during the day. You can, if you're driving through the town and don't have time to book a private overnight or don't want to book it till you see it, you can come during the day and just hike up there. But it's a hike.
Yeah.
It is a hike.
Yeah.
That's the advantage of the nighttime. We actually unlock the gate and let you drive up.
yeah, you can't drive up during the daytime. You have to walk up, and it's a very steep hill. It's a mile up there.
Ask Jeremy and Danielle over here.
Yeah.
I tell you.
So, Joanne, yeah, we're looking into. I mean, the city has been looking into grant money and everything we can to enhance the experience at the fort and restore and preserve what's there. It's a great site. It's the largest and best preserved earthen Civil War fort that's known. So it's a place that needs to be preserved. And, as paranormal investigators, it's a hidden gem. I mean, it's a place that has not gotten the exposure that it deserves. and we're trying to change that now. It's I mean, you know, I got a vision for it myself that I was talking to some people about last night about cleaning up the entire road going back there. There's a beautiful creek that runs alongside the road that goes back to the main pavilion. We want to clean out that area around there, put some nice grass and maybe some benches and stuff, and walkways along that creek. There's a lot that we're looking to do. One thing that has happened since we started doing the paranormal events, and we can't take full credit for this, but we had a big hand in it. We donated at least half the money that it took, or about half the money that it took to build the new pavilion that's up at the fort now. Before, if you were up at the fort and it started raining, you had nowhere to get out of the weather. Now we've got a large covered pavilion up there with a beautiful view that's right at the fort.
And you can see our house from up there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because the fort is right up on the hill over there. And our house is right here where we're at. Right in this general area is where our house is.
Steve,
Yeah.
He's over the hill too.
I'm not over the hill.
He's
Not
pretty old.
Way over the hill.
He's pretty old.
I'm going to be around a long time. I'm going to torment you longer than you
In
want
death.
me to.
And I'll exercise you.
Whatever. So,
I'll
what
call
else
it
do we
an
need to talk
exorcist.
about? What do we need to talk about?
Oh no, I've not been listening to you because you've just been talking and I've been doing my own thing over here. We mentioned the house, right?
We did mention the house. No, I mean, I really would like to encourage anybody that has never been to West Point, Kentucky.
Yeah.
When you're
And
passing
Leanne says
through,
it is a beautiful view.
yeah,
Very
it
beautiful
does.
view.
I mean, the views up there are awesome. I mean, you're way up at the highest. Any ferries at the fort? I have not seen a ferry at the fort, but funny thing is, we are 100% certain that we saw one in our living room here with Greg Bakken and Shar Savoy and Kim Savoy.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm trying to think if we have seen ferries up there.
I can't remember seeing one at the fort. Now, there have been people who have seen light anomalies at the fort that
And they might be.
could well have been ferries.
But
I don't
nothing
know.
that we can say for sure. So we've seen them up in, when we go with Squatch Man up in his forest, there's plenty of them up
Yeah, we've
there.
seen them there.
And like he said, we saw one plain as day right here in our living room.
Yeah. And that was crazy because, I mean, we all just sat there and watched it.
Broad,
very
the lights
slowly
were
went
on, and
across
it
in
was
front
like,
of all of us.
like, what is that? Yeah.
We thought it was a bug at first. I started to swat it and realized, wait a minute, that is not a bug.
You would have been in trouble if you'd have swatted that. I'd have been saying, he did it, not me.
With the flowers at the house, do you think it was the children?
We need to talk about the flowers. Did you talk about the
I
flowers?
did not talk about the flowers.
But Courtney, I think it could have been. They seem to be the most active. I mean, don't get me wrong. We got a lot of others that are active, but
well, okay. We talked before. The
You
river's
need
in
to-
our backyard.
you need to talk.
I'm
fast. We
going
got
to.
5 minutes.
There was a storm coming in. Denise and I went out back and watched the storm come across the river. Got windy. Rain started blowing in on us, so we came in the house. It was, when we got in the house felt completely different. It was way darker in the house. It was charged. Storm was going on outside still. It hadn't completely passed yet. And we thought, well, let's get out some equipment, some REM pods and some different things and see if there's any activity going on because it just feels like the house is charged. So I got a REM pod. I set it on. We've got an 1800 organ that came out of a funeral home. We've got it down in the living room downstairs.
I can't see where is my.
I set a
We
REM
love
pod on that.
Gettysburg.
Yeah, we'll be at the Gettysburg Bash in July. Come see us up there. And we set some other equipment around the house. And we went lights out for about 10 minutes and we're asking questions, trying to get some interaction. We got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we decided to turn the lights back on and put the equipment up and come on upstairs and go to bed. So I walked over to grab the REM pod that was sitting on that organ and was talking to Denise, not really paying attention. I reached over, the REM pod went off. and I turned and looked at it. As I reached for it, it went off. As I turned and looked at it, there was a pile of flower petals right in front of the REM pod that were wet from the rain, from the storm that had just come in.
Crepe myrtle, our front yard.
Yeah, we have a crepe myrtle tree in the front yard, and they had come off the crepe myrtle out front. And no one had, those weren't there when I put the REM pod there and we turned the lights out. And no one had come in or out of the house. It was just us here.
The door was locked.
The REM pod had not gone off, but when I reached for the REM pod, it did go off, so it was working. But somehow those crepe myrtle flowers got placed right in front of that REM pod without setting it off.
And they were still
with
wet.
us standing right there 20 feet away.
And they were still wet.
And we cannot explain that to this day. Those petals are still down there on the organ. We can't bring ourselves to throw them. It's like they were a gift.
I was dusting the other day, and I started to sweep them up and throw them away. And I was like, I can't. I've got to keep these. So,
yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We got 3 minutes left.
All right. Well, folks, as you can tell, we just kind of wing it when we do these.
We'll have some guests on occasionally, but since we're kind of new to, well, most of these people know us, but since we're kind of new to Get Haunted, which I was just noticing, by the way, should we have like something that says Get Haunted over here and stuff?
Where did the overlay go?
I don't know. That's why
I don't know where. We've got an overlay that says Get Haunted and all that stuff.
Sorry,
on it,
Sarah. Sorry, Rob.
It didn't pop up. I don't know why.
So yeah, I just thought about that. But anyway, we were just kind of rambling to get introduced here.
Yeah, this was just a
yeah, Missy
to get our
saying
feet
the
wet
energy
again.
Here is crazy.
It really is. Hello, Lauren. You made it at the very end.
Yeah,
here.
we got to get ready to get out of here, Lauren.
But we'll be back next week. Like I said, we might get the Todd on here next week or
Love
something.
you too, Eric. Lauren, you need to come see us. You're right here in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, come on down.
Eric does too.
Yeah, come on down, Eric. What's wrong with you? But we'll do this. We'll do this again real soon. We'll be back next Sunday, and then hopefully we'll have something a little bit more organized to talk about.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, that knows us, that loves us for whatever reason. We love all of you guys.
It's me. That's the reason.
For everybody that comes here and just keeps showing us support and everything we do and keeps having our back, we appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, seriously, folks, we do appreciate it. We don't know what you see in us because we're just
I don't know what you see in Ernie, that's for sure. It's the bald babies. I was like, are you talking about that? I saw bald. I thought of you. I'm sorry. I didn't realize she was. I didn't.
Joanne, never use that word in our podcast again because she'll use it against me. That's how she is. You should know her by now. That's how she is. Anything she can use against me, she will.
I was trying. I didn't leave.
Get off my head.
I didn't leave the overhead light on because I was afraid it would blind you guys. The glare.
Get off. Folks, we'll see you again next week.
Love y'all.
We love y'all. We appreciate you. And
we're actually on with Rob and Sarah tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll be on Paranormally Blonde tomorrow night with Rob and Sarah. So catch us there. Y'all take care. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.